Howdy.
Oh, hi.
We're back.
Ha-ha!
Yay.
Welcome to, at long last, episode 6 of our playthrough of our game, The Pedestrian. We just finished off in the inner city. We left that area, and now we're coming into the rooftop skyline. This is one of the bigger areas, so be prepared for a much longer episode. But this is one of our favorites, so let's get right into it.
Here we go.
So, as usual, with every new area, we introduce a new mechanic, and we start it out as slow and simple as possible and force the player to figure it out on their own. And that's exactly what we're doing here. This puzzle right here specifically, I think, takes people the longest in terms of all of the introductions to mechanics, because it's it goes against the rules of the puzzles, and so they have to unlearn what they've learned.
Yeah. This mechanic was a little tricky for us to perfect, because we went through a couple different iterations, or at least one iterations of this mechanic, and it used to be pretty different.
Yeah, it actually didn't used to be we invented the green goo towards the very end of development on the game. Before, it was just little zones that you were supposed to drop the signs into, and inside of those zones, the whatever sign you could fit into those zones were safe zones where you could it wouldn't reset. But because of all kinds of user feedback and stuff, we needed something more straightforward, and that's why we came up with the green goo.
I don't think we introduced Joel yet.
Oh,
he's not here.
Well, this is Joel right here. Yeah. I'm gonna put him in
a box.
Yeah.
So say hello, Joel.
Hi.
He's down there for us.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm not in the studio, obviously.
So. Dude, shut up. Sorry, I keep interrupting him.
We're a long way away, but I'm not in the studio, so I'm coming in remotely, and happy to play through part of the last bit of the game. It's really exciting.
Oh,
This is where everything gets huge and grand, and puzzles get really hard, and really happy with the last parts of the game.
Yeah, same. Sweet.
You got a hat.
And you might as well just kill yourself here, because
it's quicker.
Just brings you right there.
Trixie. So this little area, as well as introducing the new mechanic, the paint mechanic, it also was kind of by necessity because of transitioning from a train to an elevator, because this next area has to be accessed by an elevator because it's on the rooftops. So you can't really get there by train. So we had to have something that
we were thinking that this would be some kind of train that goes up, and somehow we show the train climbing, and then it becomes that
really would be weird,
high elevated train.
Yeah.
But nope. Stupid idea.
Bam. Here we go.
So as you see on the clipboard, that is the last component that needs to be put on the device. That it's our way of telling the player, hey, you're making progress. Good work, you're making progress.
Ta-da!
Beautiful.
The vista. Yeah, a lot of people commented after we released the game. And I must subconsciously be inspired by a lot of different things. People say that this looks like the opening to Rapture in BioShock.
I don't know.
In the first BioShock, when you see the city underwater. And it's kind of true. It does look a little bit like that. But it was not intentional.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if you had played Bioshock at that point.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never.
Yeah,
Oh, you had. Okay.
I love Bioshock.
One of the things with this mechanic that was a lot better when we switched to the paint. And I don't know if you kind of maybe mentioned this slightly, but before when it was the boxes where you would
Like the zones.
yeah, you would basically take this puppy like a sign and you drop it into like a square on the surface of the on the puzzle surface. But it ended up being really annoying because you'd like take it and you drop it there, and then maybe your sign was like slightly out of the zone or something. It was just really fiddly. So switching to like the nodes was not only cool because people are used to dragging the nodes around through the entire game, but it's like a digital thing where it's like it's either connected or it's not connected, and there's no like guessing.
There's no like, hey, I didn't know it was gonna break and reset the whole puzzle.
Well, not that, but it's like there's no doubt in your mind whether or not it's in the zone or not,
And
because
you
it's
get
connected.
you get this warning as you drag it out. Everything shakes, like it always has in the game, to let you know that it's resetting. So following,
show that.
and I think this was Jed's point when we were coming up with that, is we need to follow the same tools that the player's been using the whole time, clicking and dragging nodes around. So, yeah, I think it was a really good choice.
With this, you'll see if I take this off, it shakes. It's just saying it's going to reset, and then it's highlighting everything that it'll reset. So is this the first time this has ever happened where I think it is, where you can have optionally some things that will turn red and some things that will not. So I don't know if you can do it here, but if I were to go into this puzzle, now if I take this, yeah, so now the player is no longer red.
Because
he's not blinking red, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the first time that you see that, but it is reinforced through the entirety of the game. Things will flash red if you reset them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a complicated mechanic.
Another bonus to the spray is before, when it was just a zone, people could like stack as many signs as they could fit into the darn thing, and they would all be clipping and all be on top of each other and all be, following the rules of not resetting. But then it adds some complexity of like the signs flipping back and forth, and it's just a big mess. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So having an actual node to node saying, hey, this is for this thing only, definitely clarified and helped playability and puzzle solving.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's true, because that reminds me, when we were playtesting with the no reset zones, I remember one guy, every single puzzle, he literally stacked all the puzzle pieces in the zones so that every single piece was safe to reset. And he would just stack them on top of each other and slightly swap them back and forth.
Yeah.
And so every single puzzle he didn't even have to think about, because he was just stacking them in the no reset zone.
I like this little puzzly thingy. This like a little mini transition puzzle. This is a cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy what like the visual difference between what the rooftops used to look like and then what it ended up looking like. Yeah, Daniel, you put like a lot of work into the lighting and making it really like, a wide range of colors, and make it very visually interesting. Because like, if you just have like a city at night, I mean, I guess cities at night are usually pretty fun to look at, but I feel like they're not this fun to look at, Yeah. So it's kind of like a caricature of a city.
Yeah. Well, the hard part is strategically placing lights so that you're separating the layers of depth in the buildings, because like if you did just have like lights coming from the street down below, everything's just going to feel really flat.
Yeah.
So I had to add in a lot of like fake light layers between the buildings so that it was
Yeah.
accentuating the silhouette of each layer of building stacking through the back.
Yeah, and I remember too, like those little searchlights. Um, I remember us talking about like adding those type of things in the background to make just to make the background not look like a static image, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
to give it that extra bit of to make the world feel more real.
Yeah, I think Joel mentioned in an episode in the past that like any chance we had to make the backgrounds not feel like it's just a screenshot and it's actually alive, we really tried to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with the cars or with bugs or with
Dust.
conveyor belts moving, all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff helps cement you into the world.
Yeah.
Because it's alive and going.
I would say this hub was probably one of the hardest. Well, not probably. This was the hardest hub out of the entire game. It's just there's so much. It's not only that it's like kind of like it's paint on the box, and then the box is moving and all that kind of crap. You have all these different wires going to different areas, and we had to make it. Like I remember just sitting there. We went through like probably 4 iterations of this hub, like the layout, because it was just so annoying to try to get it where it wasn't confusing. And I think it's pretty good.
Not only confusing, but also to work with the mechanics that Jed has kind of coded in, and actually have like the proper doors open and close in the right positions and everything. It was a lot complicated to make.
Yeah. Another little bonus thing. Boop. You can go to the options menu, because we were thinking like, where the heck are we going to put the options menu? Because we have all these TVs are scattered throughout the game, and here this hub moves, and so we'll show you here in a minute after we do this. But you have to be able to get in the options menu no matter where you are. Like no matter what state the game is in,
There has to be a TV close
you have
by.
to be able to get in the options menu. So when this box is here in a minute, when it's moving, you have to be able to get in here and quit the game or do whatever,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that
crazy.
was a little jank because the camera just straight up clips right through the...
No, it only clips at certain points. Like
No,
normally,
I'm saying
it would
in
be
order to
fine.
get inside the box, the
yeah.
camera has to clip right through.
Oh, the left side of the box is open.
What?
You're just looking through it. The left side of the box is open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you never see it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Oh,
Yeah, I want to
I'm a
say
dummy.
this zone, this whole area is probably the place that we had the most, I guess, change in puzzles over the years. Like,
Yeah.
well, because of the later introduction of the kind of like portals, that had to be integrated into this zone. But also just how complex the mechanic is and how complex the puzzles could be. It took us a while to really dial down on the difficulty curve of this area.
Yeah. For sure. And I think shoot, how the heck? I need to go over here. Okay. Sometimes forget. I think this area, I feel like didn't we like retrofit a lot of these puzzles? Like some of these puzzles came from different areas, and then we're like, oh shoot, we got to fit in this new mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're like, okay, hey, we could add this sign could be the reset one, like the paint one.
Yeah, because typically in a good puzzle game, it's all about layering in the new mechanics until towards the end you have every single element of the puzzle of the puzzle mechanics all working together and complementing each other. And so it wasn't until way later that we actually were very intentional about layering all of the puzzle mechanics together.
Mm-hmm. And also some of the puzzles we just really loved and hated to get rid of, so we found ways to make them work.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of interesting about this puzzle in particular. This puzzle wasn't in the game at launch. We actually we had launched the game, and then when some of our early testers were playing it, because I think if I remember correctly, we released it a little early to Kickstarter backers.
Yes, we released it to
And so-
Kickstarter backers 2 weeks before the actual
Yeah.
Steam launch.
Um,
And one of our Kickstarter backers, we said that they could like upload YouTube videos and live stream it on Twitch. And I remember very specifically, one of our Kickstarter backers was live streaming that puzzle on Twitch. And he was there for like over an hour on that one puzzle. And I remember like typing in the chat like, oh, do this, do that. Make sure, you messed up. Let's redo it. And like, once I saw how much he was struggling with it, we're like, oh man, we got to rethink this puzzle before we do the official launch.
Yeah.
And so we worked really quick to replace it with this. And I think this is probably, in terms of like explanation puzzles, I think this is probably one of our best for this mechanic.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's hard, but it gets. I feel like it's one of those ones where it's hard, but it's simple enough that there's only so many different possibilities that are available.
Yeah.
So even though it's hard, you can almost brute force it.
Well, you would think you could. Yeah.
Yeah, but like there's literally only one door and then a lever. So
yeah, typically a good puzzle is one that looks like it should be easy, but it's not, and that's what that is.
Yeah. And here we go.
And there's Logan's music. This is the music playing here is one of the main themes to the pedestrian, and Logan spent a good amount of time trying to get the themes of the pedestrian to slowly become more prominent in the music, until once you make it to the end, you have this recognizable theme, and it just keeps building on itself for the finale.
Okay, here we go. Bam. Yeah, this was tricky. This was a lot because and see, you can go in to the options menu as it's moving.
And yet Joel actually animated that whole going back and forth and rocking the crane, moving the box and everything. And he had you were limited to just like a single spline animation inside of Unity, I think, right?
Yeah. We could do rotation and we could do position. Well, position was like taken care of, but yeah, it was basically just a rotation that we just animated. It was definitely a challenge because that was the first. We'd done some animating of signs before, just kind of swaying or such, but that was the first one with significant amount of things on it, like doors and wires and all that stuff had to move with it and also function when you got to the other side.
Yeah,
it was definitely something.
Yeah, it turned out nice.
Because like we kind of designed a lot of it to be stationary. Like a lot of the puzzles, we're like, they're not gonna move. That would be weird. And so then when we get to this point and an entire level moves and is rotating and doing all this stuff, and there's the elements there's the physical elements like the wires connected to the puzzle and everything, and then all that crap is moving down.
And not only that, but our rule of allowing the player to always have control of the character. So while that's all moving, you can still run around inside of the hub.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Which is a lot of work.
Yeah, those little elements. I feel like, I mean, not all the games, but like a lot of games will just kind of just because it's just so much work, those kind of transitions they'll like freeze the character's movement or they'll do something to just make it easier.
Yeah.
And I can
Or a
see
cut
why, just
scene.
because
Yeah.
it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
So this puzzle, I think was completely made by Joel, right?
Yeah, this was one of the. I want to say it was one of the older ones.
Mhm.
Well, when the resetting mechanic came in. Um, but yeah, the goal on this one was to have sort of like two signs that were kind of always saved from resetting, and you switch them around, and you're constantly like juggling the signs while this one big middle sign kept resetting the whole time. So that was kind of the theme. And I think we pulled it off pretty well. People tend to struggle on it, but also it it's not super big.
Right.
It is big,
Yeah.
but it only has like one door that you can always go through.
Right, and that's
Um,
yet again a sign of a good puzzle that it's like everything's right there and it seems very simple, and
Mhm.
but yet in the simplicity there's a lot of complexity.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, based off of all of the playtesters and people we've heard playing it. Did you just?
Dang it!
Oh, he just ruined it. See, that's why.
Oh, wait a
like
minute.
I
Was I doing the right one? No, we're good.
Oh, you're good. This is most definitely the hardest puzzle in the entire game.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, I'll just connect this door with that door and that door with that door. This is like, you have to go like 5 layers deep of like thinking steps ahead of yourself. And yeah, it takes some people like, 20,
40. Some like 40, 45 minutes.
yeah, 45 minutes to
um,
complete this puzzle. And they're not bored either. Like, this is just a
Well,
really
we don't think
engaging
so.
puzzle. Well, they make it through,
Doesn't mean
and
anything.
they're happy about it.
Well,
Oh, dude, see if you can cheese it like that one guy did.
I don't know how he did that. I can't remember.
What? Push the block
Oh,
on there, and then you stand on it.
Oh yeah, this is tricky.
Okay, watch this. Jump.
Oh, I missed it. Yeah, we found this one guy. Did he do a video or something? I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was, but if you jump at the right,
Oh,
No!
man, how did he do that?
I think I've done it before, but you have to like jump now.
Jump. Oh.
No, it's like it won't let me for some.
How did he do it?
Oh,
well,
well,
somehow
we'll
this guy was able, and that means he was able to completely skip a puzzle.
Yeah. This is kind of funny. One of the ways that we did some optimization is that the rain, it's not raining in the entire area. The rain is just a particle system that's just above the camera, and it's just following the camera wherever the camera goes. It's just like a small little like.
Yeah, so it's almost
Square.
like we have a sprinkler just
Yeah.
right up over the camera, and we just follow it around. Yeah, because I had a huge particle emitter that was covering the entire city,
Yeah.
and that really dropped the frame rate.
Yeah. In order to get the kind of proper density of the rain, it would have to be like, I don't know, 100,000 particles or something. It's just bananas, just like a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to the wrong one. This is one of the puzzles too that you can actually beat with only one spray paint thingy, pump. You can beat it with only one pump, but
Good.
I think we left it with multiple, just so that
For dummies who need it.
well, yeah,
This is what we like to call a hot swap.
yeah. Yeah, that was I was kind of worried about this puzzle in particular. I was worried that people wouldn't be able to get that, or that this was kind of too meta of an idea. but I guess
freezing yourself.
Yeah,
Well, we
but it worked.
introduced the whole mechanic of freezing yourself in midair in an earlier area. So they've already done it once. It's just in a different way here. So it's not a completely new concept.
It's true. And actually, I believe the puzzle you're referring to is in the inner city. It's Enterprise, the big sign with all the electrical things.
Yeah.
And that puzzle was actually a really new puzzle. That was probably one of the last puzzles we created before we launched the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one has been around for a really long time. And then I think it's good, though, that we did end up making that puzzle because it does make this one almost a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on playtesting and like really finding where people were struggling and not necessarily making those puzzles or places easier, but just like introducing things ahead of time, like you were saying, to kind of shape their thinking in that direction. Yeah, because we didn't want the game to be easy by any stretch, but we also didn't want people to have an unfair puzzle, basically, where they didn't really have the tools that they needed.
Yeah.
Got a wire.
Sweet. And I feel like, I mean, what I'm about to say kind of contradicts what like Jonathan Blow did with The Witness, but I feel like if you want to have a good difficulty curve with your puzzles, there's no better way than to just get a lot of people to play it and give you their feedback. But Jonathan Blow, I think he even admitted that they did not have anybody playtest the puzzles in The Witness before they launched.
Yeah, and that's why it's so hard.
And that's why it's so hard, and a lot of people never finish the game. Even though I think a lot of people will agree that The Witness is a great puzzle game.
It's really freaking good. I would say with that, I think it's tricky because I agree that that having people play test your game is very difficult to balance because you don't want to muddy your vision without sounding pretentious with everyone's ideas, because you can't really do everything that everyone thinks you should be doing, otherwise your game is going to be kind of silly. But at the same time, people do have really good feedback, and so I think we've mentioned this before, where it's not necessarily that you need to listen to everyone when you're playtesting, but by you watching them, you can get a lot of insight from the things that they're not saying. Just by seeing what they're doing, and you can be like, oh shoot, just from watching him, I can tell that this person had this idea or thought it should work this particular way, and then it doesn't. And so now it's like, oh, without them even telling you anything, you can already think of like, oh, if I did it slightly different here, then it would make more sense, and then my intention would come through to them easier.
And after working with playtesters a lot, you start to develop like a filter for silly ideas, for like feedback that's not helpful at all. People will be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you had a puzzle that had like 30 pieces to it and he could do backflips and throw it in the water and they float away. You just have to know hey, what I'm looking for in this person's feedback is very specific, and if they're throwing just kind of random stuff at me, you just filter that out and focus on the very specific things you need.
Yeah. Is this the only puzzle
that includes
has everything?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is
and it's almost
the
like
grand.
it's almost
Is
like
this everything?
two puzzles in one.
I think it is.
Because this first part is completely separate from the main puzzle.
Yeah. This one was tricky too. I am almost surprised that people figure this out so quickly. Like this first little mini puzzle or like the first stage of the puzzle, I was kind of under the assumption that it would take them a while, but like most everybody just almost gets it instantly, which is cool. And so one of the kind of interesting things that we didn't want to have a reset button for the puzzle, for like any of the puzzles. And so certain puzzles where you can trap yourself, we had to give you a way out.
The only way out.
Like this one. Yeah, the only way out is the saw right here.
You can do it. It won't break anything.
Oh, you're right. Oh no, it will.
Oh, that
it will
was close.
because it's death. Death is different because you can cheat the puzzle. You can cheat some puzzles if you die, because it forces you back to an area you wouldn't be able to get to.
Yeah, but you
potentially
right. But at least for this puzzle, you've already done the thing.
Oh,
so
you're
you
right.
can
Yeah,
kill yourself.
I can't kill myself here.
Yeah.
And then this sign's no longer needed. Then we can just go over here. I think. Yeah. And this one doesn't have the yellow anymore. Do you use the... Oh, it does. No, we do keep the yellow here. Or do we put it on...
No.
We put it here. I don't know where we put it. We'll see. Oh, I'm going to die.
Don't do that.
What am I doing? Oh, shoot. Yeah, we do put it over here. That's fine.
That's fine. Right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to die.
No, you're going to die. Oh, stand
Yeah,
on
you're
it.
gonna die.
Right? No.
No, I can't remember what we're supposed to do here. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be over here.
Well, you just killed yourself.
Yeah, I know. Bye, cruel world. Yeah. We're supposed to do that. Then we're supposed to come over here, and we're supposed to do this, and then go in. Oh no! I was supposed to do that one. Darn it!
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But like,
It is this one.
right before we launched
Yeah.
the game, we had played every single one of these puzzles so many times. Each of us could probably play the game in our sleep without needing to think about it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
we do multiple runs a day.
Yeah, those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
What is... You gotta help me. How do I spawn this?
Okay,
Is this right?
you need to get in the bottom right sign first.
Yeah, I gotta go here, and then
Oh yeah,
Don't
yeah.
you portal
keep
into
everything
it?
just like that. Now reconnect to the bottom right sign.
I can't. It'll reset it.
Yeah, but you won't die.
Oh, I remember. That's what the portal's for.
Well, there's two ways of solving this puzzle
I
because of the
forgot.
portal, and I can't remember the other way.
I forgot about the portal, the depth portal.
Yeah.
And then we drop this in here, and then we go out, and then we connect here. Yes. Then we can go back over
yep,
here,
yep.
reconnect this up to here, and then turn off the laser. I was
That's
gonna
a new
lever
word.
and laser.
Easy.
Bam. Poof.
Boy, oh
We should have
boy.
made it harder.
Wow, wait.
Too easy. This was kind of wacky. This like mini hub. We didn't want you to be able to grab the little component piece and take it into these puzzles or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we were like, okay, how in the world do we keep it on that side, but also allow you to get it? So we just put it behind two doors and put it up on a platform, like a disableable platform.
Yeah, I think Joel
Bam.
was typically tasked for all of these like hubs and stuff, and it's like, all right, here's the issue, now just figure it out. And then he would like come up with a bunch of different designs, and we would sooner or later.
Yeah, there's always problems with people carrying stuff into other places and then
Yeah.
like dying or resetting or quitting the game. So trying to keep things in their spot, kind of like what Portal does with their, disintegrator walls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Trying to
Yeah,
keep
those are
everything
called something.
kind of contained.
Emancipation? No. Is that right? Emancipation Grid or something like that?
Constipation grid.
No, that
Oh.
wasn't it.
Shoot.
Okay. I think we beat the area. Woo, doggy.
Huzzah! All right. Well, we can go back to the elevator, but
Yeah.
that was the entirety of the skyline,
Woo.
and that was definitely our largest area. And
Here's the code.
we're very happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
Any last words, guys?
Well, I was going to say, it is confusing because this isn't the skyline.
Well, okay,
It's-
we changed it to the skyline so it made sense for
Well, and-
people.
We didn't just change, we changed it to skyline. It used to be called rooftops
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Years. And we changed it to skyline after the game released, and we were working on the PlayStation version of the game.
Because we had to name each area for
Yeah.
PlayStation achievements.
No, for activities.
For PlayStation activities, whatever. It's all like every gaming platform has to have their own cool, hip way of experiencing
It's
a
pretty
game.
cool. I like it.
I don't know. I think it's kind of annoying. Like this is just a pet peeve of mine, but it's almost like game platforms are like daycares, and they're like, "Hey, little buddy, are you having a good time? Here's a cookie. Oh, it's been 30 minutes. Here's another cookie." Just because they're afraid that gamers are going to get bored and they need to get achievements for playing a game. You're already playing a game. You should be entertained enough. You don't need achievements. So we used achievements in our game as like storytelling elements just because you are required to have achievements in games nowadays. All right, that's my rant. I'm done.
We'll just cut that part out. It's fine.
I'm editing this video, so I'm going to just cut that as a separate video.
Uh-huh.
Stick it on
Okay,
the front.
well, I think that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Yeah, I guess until next time, this is the end of the rooftops. And then the next video will be the finale.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet.
Woo.
All right, guys.
Yep.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching.
Bye.
See ya.
Yeah.